Yeah, like anything Chris Allen would do on stage made me laugh so much. His like every time he would say something about the Underground Railroad or just these lines that he would just make up that were so funny, but never got laughs live ever. It was like you could hear crickets because for some reason people believed somehow that time frame worked for the Underground Railroad or something. I don't know. But yeah, when he would come in as Quan Lee and just all of that is just so funny. And
that's the best.
I mean, I was backstage every night because I loved to watch the show, and I was always laughing. It's really hard for me to choose one because everybody made me laugh many times, many nights.
Well, I was also really impressed by his Michael Caine impression.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's so amazing.
Yeah.
And then I've been seeing the previews for the new Batman movie, and I can't even picture it as Michael Caine. I just see Chris Allen.
I know, he has officially become more Michael Caine than Michael Caine in my mind too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And what was your favorite character to play of your whole slew of characters?
Of all the characters, probably the shop owner. That was who when they asked me if I wanted to audition for anybody in particular, I said I want to be the store owner. Just because it's just the saddest part of the play, even though it's funny, because he's just the nicest guy and he's got this great life and Batman just murders so badly. That was fun, and they let me say whatever I want for that part, so that was always good, because I'd just make up anything that was funny to me. Belinda's changed quite a bit every night.
Oh, really?
Sometimes she was interracial, sometimes she was a part of a family of small people, it was just whatever popped out of my mouth.
Alright, well that actually leads me into another Twitter question, which was, do you love lasagna in real life?
I do, sure. Who doesn't?
3 people asked me that question.
3 people?
3 people asked me to ask you that question, so I thought it was pretty important to slip that in there.
To clear the air, I do like lasagna. It's not just a method thing. Before the show, I did like it too.
All right. Well, I'm sure you're probably going to get a lot of lasagna now.
Okay.
That's just what happens.
On my doorstep.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, probably your most popular line from Holy Musical Batman, people wanted to know, people from Twitter, like I think 5 people asked me this, was who came up with the way you said, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us?
That was just me. I was just trying to be funny. There wasn't any really particular motivation behind it, except that I just wanted to say it wrong.
Well, it was perfect.
Yeah, we kind of had a joke that, like, all of the other citizens in the show were all Gotham citizens, but my citizen was the one Spider-Man citizen who was from that city, and it was just a totally different person than everybody else, so I wanted to make him as different from all of them as possible, and I guess that manifested in saying things weirdly.
Well, it's really popular. People love that.
Oh, that's good.
Me as well. Like, I love that so much.
Cool.
All right, and then 2 questions from Twitter. Jessica Bryan asks, who was your favorite superhero growing up?
Growing up, my favorite was probably Spawn. I used to read a lot of Spawn comics growing up, definitely, and Batman, but Spawn was my favorite. Like, if I was in a store and I'd see a bunch of comics, I'd always grab those first. And I loved the movie, even though it's pretty silly.
I haven't seen it.
That's cool. I mean, it's, it is what it is. John Leguizamo's in it, and Black Dynamite plays Spawn, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's, back then that's definitely what it was, but now, in the last couple of years, since I've actually gotten, like, into comics a lot more, so it's definitely changed up a bit.
Alright. And then Emily asks, what would your strategy be in surviving the zombie apocalypse?
Good question.
Yes.
Well, a friend of mine from growing up in college, actually, him and I are big zombie fanatics, and we actually found an island on Google Maps that is like very secluded and has like very low altitude, or like one big mountain, but other than that, very low altitudes, and we deemed it as our zombie island that we would go to, and that we would meet, if it ever happened and we were in different places, we would meet this one location, bring, you know, food, a net to fend off zombies in the water, and a couple machetes, things that don't rely on gas or bullets or anything like that, and just go to this island and make it there until it passes over. So sort of a mix of running away and starting anew, I guess.
Perfect. That's a great plan. Like, I didn't think of looking for an island. I often thought of boats, you know.
Yeah.
But you might run out of gas or something.
Exactly. So, yeah. You don't know if they're going to come crawling out of the water or something.
Yeah, like zombie fish or something.
Yeah.
Zombie sharks. That would be terrifying.
That would be scary. I guess it depends on what caused the zombie apocalypse, really.
True, yes. And that actually leads me into a different nerd question that I wanted to ask you,
okay.
which is who's your favorite character in the show and in the comics of The Walking Dead?
Oh, good one. In the comics, my favorite character would probably be. That's tough.
I know.
Michonne is just so cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard not to pick her as the best.
Mm-hmm.
I also really like Carl. Carl's so much more interesting in the comic than he is in the show, because he's so, like, they focus so much on how kids are so twisted and evil in the comics, and I like that. Probably between those two in the comics, but in the show, Merle was like the coolest addition ever.
Yeah.
That's where he's on the roof and handcuffed to it is like one of my favorite parts of the series so far.
Oh, yeah.
I hope he comes back soon because he is awesome. Just the actor in general is really cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've heard he's coming back in the next season, so.
I assume so. I mean, they left it pretty open-ended, so.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't try and make him into the governor or something, but.
Well, I actually did, like, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, and I heard that they're not going to make him into the governor.
Okay.
They cast somebody else as the governor.
Because it wouldn't make sense. Like, if he knew him beforehand, then it would ruin the whole point of why the governor doesn't like them, because he doesn't know anything about them. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that too, and I was like, oh no, please don't make that happen.
Yeah, because they cut off his hand right away, and I was like, oh, are they trying to make him the governor? But that's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, so rest assured, it's not Merle.
Cool.
So what is your dream role?
My dream role?
Yes.
Of, like, anything? Like a play? Or
anything. A play, a movie, what have it. Like, just go for it.
Well, one of my favorite plays ever is the show called Bug by Tracy Letts. They made a movie out of it, too. The guy who directed The Exorcist did it. It's a really cool movie. And he also wrote this show called Killer Joe that's coming out as a movie. And he wrote August Osage County, which was, like, huge a couple of years ago. But it's a very cool sort of horror play. And the main character is this army vet who is super crazy. The whole thing takes place in a motel, and it's, like, very paranoid and cool. And that's sort of always been my dream role. But my brother got to play that part, actually, in Michigan a couple years ago, so he kind of stole my thunder, because now it's like, if I ever get it, he'll be like, yeah, but I played it first, and...
Aw, come on. I'm sorry.
That's better than I probably could have, but...
don't sell yourself short.
I'd do that.
Well, maybe someday you'll have the chance to do it, and it'll be just as good as your brother's.
Hopefully.
Different.
Get a little older first, I think.
Yeah. And then what of the productions you've been a part of, and this is like, plays and musicals, and I know you did the short like film that I saw it a long time ago, but I can't remember.
Chris Allen's not
OMG, OMG, but there was another one with you and Lauren Lopez and.
Oh, Worthy, yeah.
Yes, Worthy, yeah. So what was your favorite production you've ever done?